Okay.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Maine Pod Week. I am Nate.
And I'm Julia.
And once again, you have accidentally found yourself, I imagine, on our Spotify page.
So sorry.
Sorry about that. Maybe you sought us out intentionally. And if you're my mom, thanks again for listening. If you're not my mom, especially thank you for listening. We're going to talk about some movies that we have seen, and maybe some movies
That you've seen.
maybe recently, maybe not so recently. The fun thing about the way we're doing this pod right now is that we go see a movie and we don't quite know when we're going to record, and we don't quite know when the episode that we record is going to come out. So sorry if some of these are a little out of date, but at the very least, we hope hearing a story about having a fun time at the movies inspires you to go have your own fun time at the movies, because they're out there waiting for you. I promise.
They're out there waiting for you. And if you would like more immediate news on what movies to actually go and watch, you should subscribe to our Substack, the Maine Playweek. And you should also, if you have Instagram, we're on Instagram, the Maine Playweek. And we do weekly roundups of movies showing in Maine publicly in theatrical spaces every single week.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the best way to get ahead of things and actually know when things are playing.
Yeah, it's the best way to find out about films. And there's some awesome little editorial pieces there too that some of our crew write and put out. And so yeah, go follow us and get more movies on your feed.
Yeah. Yeah, we could always use more movies.
Yes.
More movies.
More movies. I had a very funny time at the movies.
Love that.
This was weeks ago now at this point. Sorry, everyone. I don't think this one's still in theaters anymore. I went with 3 other grown men to go see a Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie? I think it's a Minecraft movie. It's a Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
Is the official title of the film.
And this is the one with Jack Black.
Yes.
And Jason Momoa. Yep.
A Minecraft movie it leaves like a horrifying kind of implication that there could be more of them. It's a
oh
weird,
God, please no.
It's a weird thing. I didn't know too much about it going into it. I had heard about it for like years. I thought about.
Do you play Minecraft?
I in high school I did.
Okay.
I don't anymore. But you know, many people do, and there are many people who were very excited for that movie. I looked this up when we were getting ready to record. That movie was originally announced in 2015, and they brought Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on to direct it. So the movie has been like thought about for at least 10 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, just like a weird sort of like macabre sort of like studio excretion of a movie, I feel. It was very bizarre.
Macabre and excretion are two
sorry,
words.
Everyone.
Two very specific words to describe this movie.
And I stand by them. When I said sorry earlier, I was lying.
Good.
I do stand by them.
That's right. We don't apologize on this podcast. We never apologize.
Unless we have to, and then we will.
Unless we say something really dumb.
So me and 3 of my friends went, and one of my friends who I went with is in ed tech for like 1st and 2nd graders. And he was like, this movie is the only thing I've been hearing about for months.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, okay. And we kind of decided like we should go and see it at it, because like we're not gonna like this movie, you know.
Sure.
This is a movie not for us. We're going in with low expectations, and we're like, we should go see it at a time when like the theater is gonna be filled with like kids and their parents, so we can see like how the target audience is reacting to it.
So you were seeking out this theatrical experience.
Yes. No, we were very intentional about it.
You were not turned off by the fact that there would be screaming children.
Well, what's interesting is that this was all like we made these plans before the whole like the whole chicken jockey meme happened.
Okay, we need to get into that.
And we can get into that.
I don't understand what happened.
It's it's a stupid line that people memed, and it became like a thing where you like throw your popcorn and trash the theater when he says this stupid line in the middle of the movie.
Okay.
And there are many lines from that movie which became sort of memes. But we made these plans to go see it like before the whole thing, before like theaters were marking the times for their employees that Jack Black would say the words chicken jockey for every screening of the film so that they could be ready for like insanity in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. So we went on like a Tuesday night during school vacation week.
Oof.
Yeah. And
school vacation week, from what I hear, is absolute chaos. It's like the Wild West. Well, neither of us have school-age children. Neither of us have children.
Yeah.
So we can only imagine. But yeah.
And I kind of forget that it's school vacation week.
Totally,
yeah. It's not even on my radar.
Yeah.
So we pull up. We went to the Apple Cinemas, Westbrook.
Yeah.
And we drive up to the theater, and there's a crowd of 40, I would say about 40 high school boys on a lacrosse like team trip from Washington. I think they had like they were all they were all in matching black like warm-ups. Like they were in their like tracksuits. And one of my friends, I think, Googled the school and found out that they were from like Washington State. And so they had like, they
Washington
were like,
State.
Yeah. They had like come across the country for some competition. And then they were like, we're going to go see the Minecraft movie.
Gosh.
And so we pulled up, we kind of looked at each other like, what the fuck have we done? Like, what did we do? And then we smoked a joint in the park. I don't know if I should say that on this podcast. Maybe I'll edit this out later. Yeah. Smoked a joint in the parking lot. We'll see if this goes out or not. And got pretty toasted off of it and went inside. We were like, is this a good idea? And we were like, yeah, no, we have to do this. So we like got our tickets, got our concessions. And like, as we were filling up our drinks, two of the guys like had come out of the theater because they were way in by the time we had gotten in. They were behind us getting snacks, and they kind of looked at us and they were like, are you guys going to see the Minecraft movie? And we were like, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And like their faces just fell. They were like, oh, really? And we're like, yeah, sorry. It's like, sorry guys to ruin your time in the theater, you know?
Yeah. Sorry. It's not going to be a private screening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they were like, no, it's fine. It's fine. So we were like, okay. And we got our stuff and we walked into the theater, and the seating charts online always make it look way worse than it is. Like, it seems like the seats are like right next to each other, and they're not. They're well spread out. But like, there was a block of 40 seats in the middle that were all occupied by these guys. And we got like halfway up the stairs when the two guys who had been behind us in the lobby came in, and they said to all their friends, don't worry guys, they're cool. So we are officially cool in the eyes of this high school lacrosse team.
Wow.
Which was a huge W.
From across the country.
Amazing. And then, but we were like, what are these kids going to do? You know, like there had been chaperones with them when we saw them outside the theater. There did not appear to be any chaperones with them inside the theater. We were like, what's going on? And we got there pretty early. We got there at like 7:15 for a 7:30 show. And they were all chanting chicken jockey by that time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were like, what have we done?
Oh no.
What have we done? And like right at like, you know, just a couple minutes before the movie started, some other people who weren't with the high schoolers started to trickle in. And like they all kind of like started to simmer down a little bit. I was like, all right, I think we're going to be all set.
Great. We've got some awareness of public spaces going on here. Awesome.
And then right before the trailer started, a mother and her like 4-year-old son walked in and like walked through one of the front rows to get to their side of the theater. And like I could tell it had a very sobering effect on the whole crowd where they were like, okay, like there is a little kid here.
There is a child. Yeah. You can't be too. Well, that's good that they have this awareness to be like, okay, we're not going to be complete idiots.
No. And you know what? When the movie started, it was like they were rowdy. They did react to lines.
Absolutely.
And I don't think,
as is their right.
I was going to say, I don't think it was all beyond the bounds of what could be expected in a
Totally.
public space for a movie like that. Like they were like shouting and cheering like on the stupid lines. They would they would say them like meme lines all together. So you'd be like sitting in the middle of this crowd, and then all of a sudden 40 kids around you would say the exact same words as Jack Black did.
That's
up on
terrifying.
the screen. Very funny. Very funny. And
funny and terrifying.
Yeah. Me and my friends kept looking at each other like, what have we gotten into here?
And you're like,
yeah. Yeah, we were like, yeah. And then like we got to the chicken jockey scene, and we were like,
I still have no idea what this means, and I never will, because
Yeah.
I'll never see
There's
the
a
movie,
little-
and I don't mind.
there's like a little, they're fighting people, and there's a little baby zombie that's sitting on a chicken.
Got it.
And Jack, which is a thing in the game, I guess. And then Jack Black shouts chicken jockey, and that's the whole the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Yep.
So crazy
Yep.
how the internet works.
Yeah. They knew all the words to the songs. There's songs in the movie, which you may not have known.
That was not apparent in the trailer.
No, it was not. And they knew all of the words, and they sang along to the songs, and I applauded for them when
Good.
the song
Yeah.
stopped. It was like a remarkable display of showmanship, and I thought it deserved credit. And then when the chicken jockey line finally came up, they did kind of go nuts. Like nobody threw their popcorn or like made a mess or anything. But like they hooted and hollered and carried on for like longer than they did for the other lines. Then when the movie finally was over, it was fine. It was silly. It was fun. It was fun to be there with everybody enjoying it, even if it wasn't the audience that we thought we were going to have when we originally made our plans, you know?
Right, because you were expecting like a younger
I thought it was going to be full of like
crowd.
3rd to 6th graders,
Right.
you know? Like
And
that's
these
kind
were
of
like,
what
high school?
They were high schoolers. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
There was a couple sitting right next to us, and as the woman like lowered her like electronic seat on the chair or whatever and stood up, she knocked over her popcorn and it went all over the floor, and she was mortified. She was so embarrassed. She was like, oh, because she like, we had chatted with them a little bit, and like they were very much aware of like the whole chicken jockey meme thing.
Right.
And she was like, oh my God, they're going to think that like I trashed their
I'm the
theater.
problem.
Yeah, exactly. Me, a grown woman, has done this in their theater. And the guy she was with was like, no, we'll just like kick it into a pile and it'll be good and fine. And they did tidy up, and it was just like a little pile of popcorn. And then as we were making our way out, that was like the only popcorn on the floor that I saw.
Wow.
So like we all just had a good time, you know? It was like I did not know what way the movie was gonna go, you know, like the experience was gonna go.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. It was like, it was me, 3 of my friends, 40 high schoolers, and some other random people. And I don't know, it's still making me laugh. I saw it, I don't know, probably 3 weeks ago now, maybe. And I thought it was great. I don't know, like not the movie itself was whatever, but
it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
no,
if
no,
the
no.
movie is bad, like you're paying for this experience. You know, like you are spending
Absolutely.
money, and it's like you could make an argument like, oh, I'm not going to spend money on this like bad Jack Black Minecraft movie. Like I don't, you know, whatever. But like you're paying for like a memory of like a really crazy
and
experience.
what a memory. Yeah. It was definitely one of the silliest times I have had at the movies lately. That was, I think it was about a month ago. Julia and I were talking. Julia hasn't seen a lot of movies lately because she's been running around all over the world.
Yeah, I have been I have been watching movies, but they are not movies that I can talk about just yet.
Yes.
I am the director of programming for the Maine Outdoor Film Festival, and so I've been watching a lot of film submissions for that. And so more on that pretty soon. We've got a lot of great outdoor adventure and conservation films, both feature length and short films, that are coming up at the festival in July.
And if you're wondering where you can see those films, at what theaters, I bet if you follow the Maine Playweek, you'll be able to find out. What an idea.
Yeah. All you need to know in one place.
What a concept.
It's a great idea. Somebody should start that
and work really hard on it or something. I did go see a movie that is creating a lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz. Just a couple weeks ago now, Sinners. That is a hell of a movie. That movie is awesome. We've been talking about our little busy spells that we've been having. I made time to go see this because one of my castmates in the show that I just closed was telling me how awesome it was and how much I had to see it. And I'm so glad I did. Disclaimer, I did go see it in IMAX.
Lucky.
I did go on a date, which meant that we were looking for 2 seats next to each other. We did not book in advance, and we went on a Saturday night, which meant that the only 2 seats next to each other were in the front row of the IMAX screen. So like everybody was kind of stretched out, like because of I was basically looking up at them at like a 70-degree angle.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. And so that, if I got to see it again, I might do it differently. It's not the only time that I've watched an IMAX movie like that. Yeah. I went down to Providence to see Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter in the Barbenheimer summer 2023, maybe?
2023, yeah.
And we also did not book our seats with much time. And I think we managed to sit all the way back in the second row for that one.
Wow.
But
I think that happened to me for Dune 2, actually. Yeah.
Dune 2 is the only IMAX movie that I've seen where I haven't been in the very front rows.
Yeah. You wouldn't think, I think that a lot of people think, nobody goes to the movies anymore. Like, I don't need to buy in advance and whatever. But, and to be fair, like, I am guilty of that too.
No, I was going to say, you just described what happened to me when I saw Sinners in the front row.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's going to be totally fine.
But I think especially with these like premium format, they call them premium large format screens. So like IMAX, they actually sell out. And there were some news articles around the country of people wanting to see Sinners in IMAX, but they just couldn't find the available seats. Like all of the IMAX showtimes were selling out.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. And this film was shot on IMAX too.
I believe it's the only one this year.
That's an important thing to note, is that it was shot on IMAX.
Yeah.
And don't ask me exactly what that means. I don't know.
Big and high def maybe, but like I don't know.
Big and beautiful.
Yeah, big and beautiful.
Love it.
Love it. I loved Sinners, and I was not expecting to, because I am not a scary movie boy, as we did talk about in our very first sort of trial episode.
Neither of us are scary movie people at all.
No. This was much more of like, I saw the trailer for Sinners actually on a different date with the same person for Mickey 17, and thought, damn, that movie looks terrifying. I'm never going to go see it. And the movie was definitely not as scary as the trailer made it seem. It was like the horror elements were kind of closer to like action elements than they were really to horror. Mm-hmm. And it was, beyond that, it was just like a beautiful, beautiful movie with good performances and unbelievable music and some really crazy camera work. And I loved it. I was blown away by it. Would I have preferred to see it a couple rows further back? Yes. Did I hate it having seen it in the front row? No, I didn't. And so I think that has to speak to how good the movie is a little bit, right? Yeah. Right?
Absolutely. If you're in the front row and you're still being entertained, for sure. And this is a Ryan Coogler film. Mm-hmm. And Ryan Coogler has done various things, sort of.
I think I really only know him from the Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Did he do both of them?
He did both of them.
Gotcha.
Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. He also did Fruitvale Station, which was like
see that.
Beautiful, just incredibly sad indie, like small indie film that is just amazing. If anybody has the chance to see it, it's amazing. It came out in 2013. Okay. Wow. Now we're deep into the IMDb.
Yeah. Now we're both staring at our laptop screens, going, "Oh, he did that. Oh, he did Creed."
Yeah.
Oh, he did Judas and the Black Messiah. I haven't seen any of these, but these are titles that I do know. So I need to catch up on my Ryan Coogler.
I haven't seen Creed either, which is crazy. I feel like that's a franchise that people really like.
Yeah. But Sinners, great. Get your tickets earlier for any IMAX movie would be my expert film opinion. They didn't have Diet Coke. I had to get cherry regular Coke.
Oh.
You know, I would have preferred to whatever.
Come on.
I know.
Come on, Sacco.
Come on, Sacco IMAX. Yeah, this was at Sacco IMAX, by the way. I don't think I said that. But if you're from around here, you probably know what theater it would have been.
And that is, I believe, the only IMAX screen in Maine.
I think so.
Which is too bad.
I know.
You got to come all the way down here to see it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get another IMAX screen.
That'd be cool.
Further up the state in the future.
Cool.
That
would be
really
in Bangor.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Bangor. Get an IMAX.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, it's got to be a pretty cheap investment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Me and my buddy looked at buying or opening up a Alamo Draft House venue just as like a what if we did that? I think it was like they were like, yeah, no, you can totally do that for $13 million.
Yeah.
And we're
great.
like, oh, okay, never mind.
Okay,
sorry, we like movies, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sinners was awesome. I had a blast at it. And
I gotta see it. I really gotta see it.
I would really recommend it. And again, it is not as spooky as I thought it would be. So that's a plus.
That's good.
Yep.
Is it less scary than Nosferatu?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Nosferatu scared. Like Nosferatu fucked me up.
I could not handle Nosferatu. My husband and I went to get pizza at Off Track Pizza the other night, and they were playing Nosferatu.
I saw that on your story.
On the just like ambient, like on the TV screen. And I was like getting PTSD. I was like, oh no, not again.
But yeah, movies are awesome. We're both trying to see more movies now that we're back working on this, and movie theaters need our help right now. Weird things are happening to film, and weird things are happening to the arts.
Yeah, so this is weird. I don't know how many of you have heard about this. I don't really know, people's involvement in the news about the film industry. I'm kind of steeped in it because it's my industry, so I see all the news articles. But you may have heard about the movie tariffs that our president tweeted about, or whatever, truthed about, whatever.
I like saw a headline, and I think I thought, I don't have the brain power to think about this right now, and I didn't really do any investigation, so I don't know too much about any of this.
I saw it on I saw his tweet on a like film meme page that I follow, and so obviously I thought it was a joke. Like I thought it was fake. Like somebody was like spoofing the president. And then my sister texted me, is your job going to be affected by the movie tariffs? And I was like,
God.
I was like, what? And to be fair, my sister works in government, and while her job has not been affected yet, many of her friends' jobs, her husband's job has been eliminated. So she's kind of in that world where a lot of people are losing their jobs. So she was very worried about me. Are you going to lose your job? And I was like, I don't think so. And so I did some more research, and I started reading the articles in the trade magazines and some of the podcasts that people in the industry were doing. Basically, the president was like, we're going to tariff 100% of movies made outside of the U.S. and with no other specifics or plan or anything.
Or that making sense at all.
Yeah.
I guess that is where the logic, if there is any, breaks down for me.
Yeah, there's no logic.
Yeah. Are you tariffing like film reels that you're importing, or like?
I think you would be tariffing like foreign films, but the weird thing is that like plenty of blockbusters, like all the Star Wars movies are made in London.
Right.
Like all of the VFX houses are in Canada and the UK. Canada and the UK are huge with production, and
interesting.
A lot of American studios, so like Disney, Universal, Paramount, they will outsource a lot of their production to crews in the UK and Canada because it's less expensive to do things there because those countries have pretty generous tax incentive programs. So basically, you spend a certain amount of money in film production there and you get it back in taxes. And I am not a tax, I'm not an economist. I'm not a tax person. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but this is kind of the gist.
Yeah. And there's been some efforts to do something like that in Maine in the past couple of years. It's had a hard time finding some footholds, which I think is a bummer. Some of my friends have done some serious advocacy for it, but nothing has been pushed through.
Yeah, and this is tax incentives are something that a lot of states have. That's why a lot of TV and film that is set in Maine is actually filmed in Massachusetts because Massachusetts has better tax incentives than Maine. Many states have these tax incentives. Like states have an interest in bringing productions to their states, and people spending money in those states makes sense. But the U.S. as a whole does not have a federal tax incentive program. And so that's been kind of in conversation with a lot of Hollywood folks who kind of have the ear of the president. And so there was a lot of confusion there. Basically, like, people were like, does he mean tax incentives? Like, basically, is he talking about like the carrot rather than the stick? The carrot meaning the tax incentives, the stick meaning the tariffs. Long story short, it doesn't make any sense. It's probably not going to amount to anything. The best thing it could do is have a federal tax incentive program, which would be great, which would bring more production to the U.S. That would be great. But it also is kind of shadowing this other news story, which is kind of like flying under the radar, is these cuts to the National Endowment for the Arts. And this is something, the cuts to the National Endowment for the Arts is something that will actually and has actually impacted Maine cinemas, Maine nonprofit theaters. The tariffs, like, that's not going to affect anything. Like, that's not going to affect anything, at least for now. But these cuts, so Space Gallery had grant funding that was just abruptly terminated. The Camden International Film Festival also had grant funding that was terminated. I'm sure other places also, tons of other arts organizations in the state also had their funding pulled. And so it's just a real bummer, Nate.
Yeah, it's a
real bummer.
I don't know what else there is to say other than it sucks. I could also say that it blows.
Yep.
It does both of those things. And it just, I don't know. It's one of those things that kind of makes me focus in on like the immediate things around me and like my immediate community, where it's like, all right, well, I don't have several tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to give to local cinemas or local, programming, whatever. But I do have friends who like movies, and I like going to the movies, and I bought a microphone and I'm making a podcast with my friend about movies. So maybe this is a force for good. I don't know. I want to go to the movies, and if it helps people, that's better. Like, if I think right now more than ever, theaters, like, it's a shame too, because like obviously the pandemic was a huge blow to theaters, and like that sort of huge depression was just kind of getting over. You know, people
Yeah.
were like, the movies are back, cinema is back, going to the movies is back.
Right. There's the pandemic, and then there was the strikes, the actors strikes.
Right.
Yeah, all the strikes. And that really delayed the production of a lot of things. So then it delayed the release of a lot of things. And of course, through all of that, you know, streaming,
Yeah.
people just sort of being retrained, the habits being retrained to just stay at home. And so this is just kind of a real, just throwing salt in the wound. It feels like to the independent and nonprofit cinema community. And it's also just so stupid. Because, and another thing,
and also
I hate it. But it's stupid because the NEA, this is from an NPR article from 2022, the agency's funding amounts to 0.003% of the total federal budget. So how much money are you really saving by just throwing these nonprofit cinemas who are just trying to bring arts and culture to their communities?
I'm starting to think that the suppression of art and the rise of anti-intellectualism is actually not about saving money in the country.
Wow.
What an idea.
What an idea. Could be about fascism. There's an idea.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
So I guess if we had to summarize that,
real bummer.
we'd say that's a bummer. Go to the movies.
Yeah. Go to the movies.
Go to the movies.
Buy a ticket. Buy concessions.
Yep.
Don't
go at weird times.
Go at weird times. Go when you aren't really sure what's playing, but you just kind of want to go.
Yeah.
Or you don't even have to go.
There you go.
You don't even have to. You can buy a membership if the theater has a membership program. You could make a donation if they accept donations. You could probably just show up with a bunch of money and just give it to them.
So here you go. Go see something you think you might hate. You know? Go see something. Look, worst case scenario, you say, that sucked and I was right. And there's no better feeling than being right about something. And best case scenario, you're like, wait a second. That kind of rocked. And then you found a movie that you like. Yeah. I don't know. Open your mind. Go see weird stuff.
Yeah.
And support the organizations around you.
Support your local cinema and also your local arts organizations. All kinds of arts organizations are feeling this.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well.
The Minecraft movie was funny. No. Yeah, I don't know. We took kind of a turn. We just recorded another podcast. I think we're also getting sleepy.
Yes.
And so we don't want to leave you guys, on a downer. But Julia and I are excited to be working on this again, and we're excited to be going to the movies again.
Yes.
And I hope you guys think, if anyone's listening, I hope you think maybe I should go to the movies too.
Yeah. And let us know if you do go to the movies. Let us know what you're seeing, what you thought about it, and also if you have any preferences or ideas for what you want us to talk about on this podcast, let us know.
Yeah, and tell us where you're seeing these movies too, Shout out your local theater. If they're awesome, let us know. If they're not, I don't know, be chill about it. It's hard to run a theater.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We're all doing our best.
We're all doing our best.
But yeah, so I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk with Julia. I'm excited to see movies.
And we'll see you next time.
See you at the movies.
See you at the movies.